Hi counselors, welcome to another video to help you in your profession. Today on Counselor's Tips, we are going to be talking about the mental status exam. What does it mean? How do we use it? And how to be most effective while applying it with a client. So hang in there. We're going to cover a lot of information today on the mental status exam. The mental status exam is an objective assessment that assists us in taking a look at the client more clearly through an objective lens. The mental status exam can assist us in developing a diagnosis as well as a differential diagnosis for client care. A mental status exam can assist us in the progression of treatment of clients. Using a mental status exam is an astute observation of clients in a multitude of ways. The components of a mental status exam are these. We are looking at the client's appearance. We can ask questions to ourselves like, what does the client look like? How are they presenting? What is the client's posture? What is the body habitus? Does the client appear to be their stated age? How about the client's grooming and hygiene? Is it appropriate for the time and season? Is it appropriate for their age? We can also note if the client appears unusual in any particular way. On the mental status exam, we are assessing the client's behaviors and attitudes. We can ask ourselves these questions. What is the client's attitude during the assessment? What's their attitude towards the assessment as well as the assessor? What is the client doing during the assessment and how are they engaging with you as the assessor? What is the client's eye contact like? Are they looking directly at you? Are they looking at the floor? Are they glancing around or their eyes darting? We are also documenting what the client's psychomotor activity looks like. During the assessment, we're also going to be assessing how the client is carrying themselves, how they have entered the assessment or departed the assessment. What is their gait? In the mental status exam, we are also assessing the client's speech. That is, what is their speech like while they're working with us during the assessment? How is the client talking? Is the speech considered pressured or is there a consistent flow? What is the volume of the client's speech? Is it elevated? Is it whispering? Is the client mumbling? We also want to assess the client's rate of speech. The rate is the actual speed. Is the client speaking too fast for us to understand? Does it seem that they're struggling to find words to communicate where they are or how they feel while they're with us? What is the amount of information the client is sharing with you? If it is too much information, we want to note that. If it seems vague and unclear, we want to note that as well. In addition, during the assessment, in the speech portion, we are documenting whether the client allows us to finish our questions or explanations, or if the client happens to continue to interrupt us. In the mental status exam, we want to document the client's mood. Here, the client will be reporting their mood to us, but we can also document whether their reported mood matches their affect. During the assessment, we are going to ask ourselves questions such as this. What is the client's emotional tone? Does it match what they're saying? Does it match the rate or tone of speech? Is the client euphemic, dysphoric, anxious, euphoric, angry? What is the client's emotional range and stability? Do they seem to be consistent with their emotional range and stability during the entire assessment? Is the client considered having an emotional, restricted, flat, or blunt affect while with you? Does the client's affect change rapidly? If the client's affect is changing rapidly, this is considered a liable affect. The next section on the mental status exam that we are documenting is the client's thought process. We want to document what the client's thinking was like. Was the client's thinking organized or not? Describe the client's connection between thoughts. In an additional video that I've recorded, I discuss the different thought patterns. Briefly, they are these. Is the client's thinking linear? Is the client's thinking circumstantial? Is the client's thinking tangential? Is the client's thinking loose association? Is the client's thinking flight of ideas? Or is the client's thinking considered a word salad? In this area, you're also going to be identifying the client's additional pattern of thinking. So they can have something like thought blocking. This is when the speech is suddenly interrupted by silence. A client can be demonstrating clanging. Clanging is when words are chosen by sound or rhythm rather than meaning. In addition, a client can have concreteness of thought, and this is when they're able to connect exactly what they're thinking to what they're communicating. In the next section on the mental status exam, we are documenting the client's cognitions. In the cognition section, we are documenting what was the client thinking about. In this area, we're also going to be documenting if the client has any suicidal or homicidal ideation. In this area, we also want to document, does the client have any hallucinations or delusions? So hallucinations are things that they may be seeing that are not present, and delusions are ideas of their importance or lack thereof. In this section, we'll also be documenting whether the client has any preoccupations, obsessions, or ruminations. Lastly, we'll also document if the client has any deficits in content when they're sharing with us. In the mental status exam, we are also going to be documenting the client's attention and concentration. Is the client able to maintain their attention during the assessment? Is the client falling asleep? Is the client awake and alert during the assessment? Is the client easily distractible by outside things or sounds? Next on the mental status exam, we will be documenting what the client's orientation is. Does the client know where they are? Does the client know why they're receiving an assessment? Does the client know what is going on? Is the client aware of the time, the date, the place, and the situation? Mainly, are they aware that they're with you on a certain date at a time and the reason that they're with you? We can also briefly document on a mental status exam the client's memory. Here we're documenting their short and long-term memory. We can record questions about their past. We can ask if a client recalls general knowledge. We can give the client 3 words and ask them to recall those 3 words. Can the client recall detailed information such as information regarding their medication, names, and doses that they've been prescribed? We're also documenting the client's insight. Does the client understand their situation and the reason that they're with you for the assessment? We can document the client's judgment. That is the client able to make reasonable decisions about themselves and their own care? Putting it all together, the mental status exam, when put all together, helps us create a diagnosis and a differential diagnosis. This is the first place we can really advocate for a client's care. Mental status exam helps us establish a baseline where we can document a client's progress or deterioration. It assists counselors with assessment and development of a treatment plan. A mental status exam, when completed thoroughly, can assist professionals in communicating with others in the medical and mental health field.